Hey guys, so for today's video, I am going to talk about my career, my background, my education. I have been asked this so many times, and I've been meaning to make this video for really long time. For some reason, I don't know why, I just keep forgetting to make it. So today I am going to kind of just chat with you guys about what I went to school for, how I got into the career path that I'm currently in, and all the details. But if I miss any details that you guys want to know, please put your questions down below and I'll make sure to answer them. I think a lot of my viewers are currently in school or in the process to select their major, and that's why they're inquiring about kind of my background, what I do. I think I've talked a little bit about my job in the sense that I love what I do and I'm really happy, but I haven't really gone into detail about what exactly it is that I do. So for starters, I'm going to kind of talk about my background in terms of education, what I majored in, how I kind of went about it, and then I'll get started talking a little bit about my work experience. So I went to school for business, and when you are accepted into the business school, you have a few different areas where you can focus on and specialize. There's certain universities that you can just major in business and that's it. But the university that I attended, you had to get into the business school and then select almost like a specialty. So the options were management, finance, accounting, marketing, human resource, real estate was one of them as well. And I believe that is all of them. Oh, and MIS, which is Management Information System. So right off the bat, when I was doing my core courses, so basically when you get into the business school, the first few courses are mandatory for anybody in business school, and they're almost your introductory courses to the areas that you would like to specialize in. So they have an intro to accounting, intro to marketing, and so forth. So it really helps you really understand, is this something that you're interested in, that you could do this for the rest of your life? So I knew off the bat that I did not want to do accounting. I just thought it was an easy class for me to understand debits and credits and all the details. However, I just could not see myself doing that for the rest of my life. Kind of just looking at numbers and looking at a sheet, I just couldn't do it. So I knew right off the bat I didn't want to do accounting, and I did not want to do management information systems, which is more of the techie side to business school. So those two were completely off the table. Management was more kind of just a general, if you really didn't know where to specialize in, you would just do management. It was a little bit too general. So I decided to go with marketing, and I did probably my first 2 years, I did all of my courses that were required for marketing. And I am the type of person that I'm very task oriented, and the way I kind of motivate myself, and this is with life in general, it could be with cleaning, it could be my current job, a project or a task that I have, I give myself, let's say 5 hours for a specific project, and then I know that, okay, it's been an hour, it's been 2 hours, I need to kind of get into the project and make sure that I finish it within 3 hours. And it's deadlines that I put on myself, kind of just to make sure that I'm focused and that I complete the task or the project within the given deadline. And usually my deadlines are a lot more strict than the actual deadlines given to me by, work or my boss or whatever that may be. And that's kind of how I look at life in general. And that's exactly what I did when I was going to school. I said, I want to graduate within 3 years, and I want to take as many classes as I possibly can every single semester. And I even got a few approvals to take even more classes that were permitted. So I think I took 5-6 classes every semester, which is a lot. And I was able to finish within 3 years. And then I left all my electives for the very end. So my last year, I took all of my electives were within HR, and I decided I absolutely loved it. I really enjoyed those classes, and I think I needed to take maybe 2-3 more classes to major in human resources as well. So I went ahead and I did that, and I graduated within the 3 years with a bachelor's in marketing and human resources. And I started my first job before I graduated with my bachelor's. I started my first job within HR in my last company, which was Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines. And I'll go a little bit more into my work background in a little bit. But I then took about 2 years off, maybe 3. I graduated college in 2007, so 2008, 2009, 2 to 3 years I took off. I want to say 2. I think I took 2 years off, and then I applied for the master's program. And again, I kind of went back and forth with this. I didn't want to do a master's in human resources because I didn't want to be redundant and learn the things that I learned in my bachelor's. But I wanted it to be specific and helpful and beneficial for me in the future. So I ended up doing a master's in international business, which is very similar to an MBA. But at the time that I was going to school, a lot of people had MBAs. So I wanted to differentiate myself, and I wanted to be a little bit different. I didn't want to be another resume with another MBA. I wanted it to be a little bit different. So I did the MIB, which is Master's in International Business, and I finished that it took me 2 years. The whole program, I think, was 20 months. I believe it was 20 months. And I actually took 1 semester off because I don't believe in getting student loans. I really don't even believe in credit. Obviously, I bought the house and I took out a credit for that, but I just don't like credit cards. I don't really own any credit cards. I don't like living above my means, and I feel that a lot of people that I know have just started living above their means and have a ton of debt, and they just are paying so much in interest, and it's just that would give me too much anxiety. So I wanted to pay off school as I went. I did not want to take any student loans out because all of my friends currently are still paying their school till this day. And even though your school is a little bit different, when you take out student loans, the interest is really, really low and it does not affect your credit. And there's a lot of beneficial things in that sense. But I did not want to graduate and have student loans for years to come. So I did take 1 semester off because there was 1 semester where I just couldn't afford it. And I said, okay, I need a little gap so I can save a little bit more and then be able to go ahead and pay for it out of pocket, basically, because I was living on my own. So I had a lot of expenses as well. So I did take 1 semester off during my master's. I was able to finish within the 2 years and completely paid everything off. So when I finished my master's, I had 0 student loans and it was great. So that is in terms of my education. When I started my career within human resources, I started, again, as I mentioned, at Royal Caribbean Cruise Line, which is a huge cruise line. They have over 70,000 employees, and I absolutely love my experience there. I started as an HR specialist, and then within a year I was promoted to recruiter, and I was doing that maybe for 2 years. Then I was promoted to analyst, and then senior analyst, and then consultant. And when I was a consultant, I was overseeing all of the hiring managers or hiring agents is what we call them. Basically, Royal Caribbean had to hire a ton of people from all over the world. So we had an agency that we worked with, 1 to 2 agencies per country, and I was managing all the contracts for them. I was overseeing and auditing all of them. So that was my role when I was a consultant. After, I was probably a consultant for maybe a year to a year and a half, and then I was promoted to optimization manager. We were launching a new system, and I was kind of managing a little bit of that. So that was my last Royal Caribbean. I then transferred over to the current company where I'm at, and it's almost a hospitality company as well, because we have a lot of hotels within our portfolio, but it's also a real estate company, more of a luxurious real estate company, and not luxurious, I guess luxury real estate company. And I am currently the senior manager for leadership development and performance systems. So that is my title. It is very long, but essentially it is focusing on the training and development for the team, and more specifically leadership development for our employees. And we are launching 4 programs because we want to focus on all of our employees, regardless of where they're at in their career. So we have an emerging leaders program for first-time leaders or even employees that maybe aren't managing people yet, but we see them as somebody who's gonna, you know, lead the company in the near future. So they would be going through the emerging leaders program. Then we have a high potentials program, which is for those employees that we see that they have the ability, they have the ability, the potential, they have the aspiration, they have it all. So we really want to develop these employees and retain that talent. And then we have a women's leaders program that focuses on emerging leaders, but specifically women. And then lastly, we have a sustaining leaders program, which is those very almost like expert leaders. They've been leaders for 10, 15, 20 plus years, and we want to develop a program specifically for them as well. So that in a nutshell is what I do. I absolutely love it. I'm learning so much every single day. I've been doing this role for about a year and 3 months, and every single day, every single week, I learn something new, and I'm really passionate about it. I think this is definitely something that I'm gonna stay doing for years to come, if not the rest of my life. I love kind of helping employees get to that next level. I am very passionate about it, as you can see, and I think it's funny because when I was back in high school, kind of trying to research and figure out what I really wanted to do and what I wanted to major in and study hours every single night, kind of just researching different roles. And that gives you everything you need to know about the role, starting from the pay, you know, the average pay for that specific role, all the percentage of jobs that are available, the kind of just a description of the job and the role, and your career path, your progression, what would be your next role. And it gives you a lot of details. And I would just kind of be on that website getting as much information as possible. And I did at one point, I wanted to be a teacher, and I told my dad, I'm like, I really think I want to be a teacher. And I think I even took one course that ended up being an elective when I was doing my bachelor's, and it was a teaching course. And my dad was like, I don't think you should do that. You're really capped out, and the pay is not that great, and it's just, you maybe look into doing something else. And he really negotiated this. Like, he really pushed hard for me to look into something else. And eventually I went into business, and I'm grateful for that because I love what I do. And I almost think this is like the best of both worlds. I'm in business and I'm doing training, but it's essentially teaching employees. So it's almost going back to what I initially wanted to do, which was teaching. And it's making my dad happy because it's still in business school. So I absolutely love my job. I have my friends and colleagues come up to me all the time and they say, you know what, I think every day, I think when I'm frustrated about my job, I think, you know, people don't like their jobs. Nobody really loves their job. But then I think about you, and I know you really love your job. Like, people know this. I'm so excited about certain projects that I work with, and I work with some of my colleagues, but just we launch so many things, and it's very exciting to me. So if you guys have any specific questions in terms of school, my education, or my background, or any questions that may be helpful for you in your current journey, leave them down below and I'll make sure to answer them. But I think I kind of gave you all the details and all the background to what I do. If you don't have a LinkedIn, you should create a LinkedIn profile. It's very important for your career, and you can put your education there, your experience, and really almost brand yourself. And feel free to find me. My name is Adriana Silva on LinkedIn, and add me and send me a little note, and I will definitely accept you. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.